All right, so think about music that really goes beyond just being songs. Pink Floyd is The Wall. That's a perfect example, right?
Ah,
It's huge. I mean, it's cultural, it's psychological, it's like an anthem. What we're going to do today is dig into what sparked this whole thing. What stories are hiding in those bricks, you know?
exactly, yeah. You hit it. The Wall from 79, it's way more than just tracks. It's a whole narrative.
Hmm.
People call it a rock opera, which basically means it's an album telling a story, almost like a play. I mean, it was incredibly successful commercially. It sold over 30 million copies worldwide, which is amazing. But really, for this deep dive, we're focusing on the story behind it all, how it came to be.
And that story, you can't separate it from Roger Waters. He was the force, the driving force behind The Wall, and it's all infused with his own life. Losing his father, World War II, that had a huge impact. Then dealing with fame, that pressure, and feeling disconnected from everything. It's heavy stuff, and it's the foundation of the whole album.
For sure, for sure. And from those struggles, the character Pink emerges. Brick by brick, he builds this wall to protect himself from the pain. But the irony is, it becomes his prison. You can really hear it in tracks like Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2, right? Criticizing education, how rigid it can be. And then there's Comfortably Numb, which is about being emotionally detached, maybe from drugs, like a dream, but a bad one.
So Waters, he's like the architect. He got the blueprint of this story with that political edge, very Pink Floyd. But he wasn't totally alone, was he? David Gilmour and his guitar playing, so emotional. That's a big part of why this album is so lasting, don't you think?
Huge, absolutely crucial. Waters had the story and a lot of lyrics, but musically it was Gilmour who brought it to life. Those
Yeah.
solos, they soar, they're full of emotion. It's not just technical skill. You feel Pink's journey in them. Or like Comfortably Numb, the way he holds those notes, the bends. It's like yearning and being detached all at once. It's masterful.
And then there's the look of it, just as iconic as the music.
Yeah.
Gerald Scarfe's artwork, it's stark, disturbing, it's on the cover, it's everywhere. It really drives those themes home, doesn't it? How did those visuals translate from the record to the experience?
They did. They absolutely did. Scart's style, it's unsettling, but it wasn't just decoration. It was part of the message. Faceless people, creepy creatures, that visual style. It showed Pink's inner turmoil, how the wall isolates him. Visual art, it can make music hit even harder. It sets the tone, the mood, so it resonates. And on stage, in the live shows, well, it all exploded.
Yeah, those The Wall shows, they weren't just concerts, were they? Not just a band playing. It was on a whole other level.
Hmm.
How did Scarfe's ideas fit into that huge live production?
It was massive. The Wall live, nothing else came close to its size and ambition. And yeah, they took Scarf's vision and they built a real wall on stage during the show, brick by brick. It wasn't some metaphor, it was right there representing Pink's isolation. And in the second half, they tore it down, just this incredible cathartic moment. It was more than music, it was theater.
And it connected with what was going on in the world, those themes of being divided, isolated, especially that show in Berlin after the wall fell. It must have been powerful seeing those artistic themes play out in real life like that.
It was. 1990 Berlin, just a year after the wall came down, it took on a whole new meaning. This album about division, isolation, performed where that division was real and now it was gone. It was like a symbol of liberation, of change, and it showed just how relevant the album still was.
You know, it's kind of hard to believe that something so huge started with a pretty small thing, a bad reaction at a show, basically. Tell me more about that concert in Montreal and how it led to The Wall.
It's funny, isn't it? A huge work of art. Starting with this little moment, 1977, Montreal, Pink Floyd's playing. Waters is feeling really disconnected from the crowd. He thinks they're out of control, not paying attention. And he snaps, he spits at them. Instantly regrets it, but that frustration, it makes him realize he's already building a wall between himself and them in his mind. That was the seed, the idea that grew into the wall. It just goes to show a bad experience can turn into something incredible.
And even the little things made a big difference, like having the kids' choir in Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2. That sound is so recognizable, so unique. How'd that come to be?
It was genius. They got kids from Islington Green School to sing. It gave the song this vulnerable feeling, almost innocent, which made the critique of education even stronger. It wouldn't have been the same with adult singers. That chorus, those kids singing, it's one of the most famous moments in rock, and people still feel it today. It's an anthem.
And of course, there's the film, 1982. It took those surreal parts of the album and made them visual, intense, disturbing. Bob Geldof as Pink. That was a good choice.
Huh.
How did the film add to the album's themes?
Yeah, Alan Parker directed it. It was a visual interpretation, very deliberate, very unsettling. Geldof as Pink, he was raw, intense, perfect for showing Pink's descent into isolation and madness. It wasn't a direct adaptation, but it used visuals, metaphors, disturbing images to explore alienation, trauma, pressure. It was another way to experience the art of the wall.
Okay, so for someone who's listening who wants to really get into the wall, not just hear the songs, what should they do? Where do they start?
The first thing, really, is to sit down and listen to the whole thing, both records, all the way through. It's a story, it's connected, and you got to experience it all at once to feel the journey.
It was meant to be heard that way.
That makes sense, like watching a movie all the way through, not just bits and pieces. What's next after that full listen? Watch the film, definitely. It's not a literal retelling, but visually it's powerful. It'll help you understand what Pink's going through, the themes of the album. It's a different perspective, but just as powerful.
Listening, watching. What about the actual album, the artwork by Scarfe? Should they be paying attention to that?
Absolutely. Don't just glance at the cover, really look at the images. The cover inside, the booklet, if there is one. Those images, they're stark, unsettling, but they're part of the whole thing. They show what Waters was going for, Pink's mental state. Think about what they mean, the recurring images, how they fit into the story.
Besides the music and visuals, is it important to understand the time period the wall came from?
Yeah, for sure. The late 70s, the world was a certain way, and knowing that helps you understand the album, the anxieties people had, social issues, the music scene. It all explains some of the things Waters was saying in the lyrics. It gives you the context of how people felt when it came out.
What about people who are really into the musical side of things? What's a good way for them to go deeper?
Listen to live versions, compare them to the studio album. It's really interesting how the songs change live. Sometimes they improvise, and the way they play for an audience, it's more raw, more intense. You get another layer to it.
Listening to the whole thing, watching the movie, looking at the art, understanding the time period, comparing live to studio. Anything else? How else can people really connect with the wall?
There's one more thing. If you can, go to Berlin, see where the wall used to be. Standing there thinking about what it meant, the division and then it coming down, it's a real connection to the themes in the album. Art and history coming together.
Wow, that's a great suggestion. Bring it to life in a different way. Any final thoughts on exploring the wall?
Talk to people about it. Friends, online forums, read what critics say. Share your thoughts, hear what others think. It's a complex album, lots of layers, and talking about it, you might find meanings you didn't see before.
So after this deep dive into the wall, it's even clearer that it's not just a bunch of popular songs. It's art, it's lasting, and it's still meaningful today.
Absolutely. The Wall is timeless. It's about psychology, it's about society putting pressure on us, and it's about wanting to be free from ourselves and from the outside world. It speaks to people, even generations later, which just shows that music can do so much. It can entertain, but it can also make you think, challenge you, make you look inside yourself.
So we've been through Pink's wall, all the bricks.
Yeah.
And now I want to leave you with this. Think about your own life. Are you building walls maybe without realizing it?
Yeah.
And if so, what's the first brick you can take down? Something to think about.